And it is an incredibly emotional story for you today in Focus of hope amongst adversity. Now, we know, of course, that hundreds of thousands of Syrians have fled their country as the fighting between rebels and regime forces goes on. Many find themselves in refugee camps in Jordan, some traumatised, some who've lost loved ones, and even those who've lost limbs. Well, France 24's reporters have met with one young girl, Salam, as she embarked on a trip here to France to receive medical care. Chris Moore has this report for us.
Northern Jordan, home to an ever-growing number of Syrian refugees. Among them, 9-year-old Salam and her 12 siblings. In July last year, she lost both her legs following a bombardment between Damascus and Deraa. She recalls the moment the warplanes arrived.
We were following Mum and running towards the shelter. We were just behind her, in front of the door. And then I felt the explosion.
Salam's sister died of her injuries. She was taken to the local hospital, her limbs crushed. But it wasn't until she arrived in Deraa that doctors were able to amputate.
The local medics said they couldn't do anything because they didn't have the materials. So we took her to the state hospital in Deraa. They made us sign a piece of paper before they treated her, saying that the rebels were behind the attack.
She was in hospital for a month. Then her brothers brought her here. I can't describe how I felt. It was as if she was half a person.
This team of medics works for the French charity La Chaîne de l'Espoir. They've been assessing Salam's injuries.
Little Salam has had a double leg amputation. We're going to try and fit her with prosthetic limbs so she can walk again.
And that means a trip to see specialists in Paris. Salam is one of 6 Syrian children being flown to France for treatment. Charles de Gaulle Airport, a 4.5-hour journey over, and Salam arrives to meet her host family. It's the second time this Franco-Syrian and his mother have put up children hurt in a brutal civil war.
They need families to look after them, and that's what we're here for. They're children from a country where the situation is just catastrophic.
The next morning, it's off to a clinic in the west of the French capital. Prosthetic technician Marielle Kazan gets to work on the measurements and plaster casts needed to mould the artificial limbs. With Salam set to fly back to Jordan once they've been fitted, precision is more important than ever.
In general, prosthetic limbs last a year, but you have to readjust them, adapt them regularly, almost once every 3 months. We can't do that in this case, so there's a lot of anticipation involved. And there's a team from Handicap International over there who can take over from us.
A fortnight later, and the limbs are ready. Until now, Salam's only been able to visit Paris in a wheelchair, and she's eager to try them on.
Where should we go today, then?
Up the Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower? OK, then.
There's some final instructions from the technician, and Salam is ready to stand before taking a first few tentative steps. It's been a year now since her legs were amputated, and these new limbs are going to take some getting used to. But Salam's relief is palpable. A small success story for one victim of Syria's tragedy, but operations like these cost at least €10,000 per child, and the number of injured is increasing by the day.
Yeah, Chris Moore reporting there. And if you are interested in giving a gift to the charity involved there, you can do so at this web address. It is www.chaînedel'espoir.org. There it is for you, www.chaînedel'espoir.org. That was today's Focus.